Kasey, if I'm not mistaken, at your high school, when you were growing up, the whole community was affected by a driving tragedy, wasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it's something that happened at our school a couple different times, and it's something that's you know, it's sad and it's hard to take for everybody that knows the person, even if you don't know the person that had the accident. We had 2 different ones in car accidents in the 4 years that I was in high school, and even if you don't know them, it still hits you. It still, you know, other people, your friends know them, and everybody, you know, is sad about it and thinks about it. So it's just, it's a tough loss when you have things like that. I know you guys at school has had some of those too, and it's just something that everybody has to deal with and think about, how can we make this not happen? How can we do our best to not go out there and, you know, and focus on what we're doing, and if we have 6 people in a car or 4 people in a car, you're still driving, you still have to focus on what you're doing, and your friends have to, you know, let you do that as they do their own thing, and let you focus on the road and make sure that you're doing the right things.
I still have not seen the phone call or the text message that's worth somebody's life. I mean, you could, Robin Leach could call you up and say you won $10 million. It's still not worth taking that phone call if it makes somebody get hurt or die. And the numbers, somebody tell me down here, how many students do you have in your school, roughly? Anybody? Okay, less than 1,000. Well, take at least 6 of these buildings and all the students that's in that building. Put that together and think about that. That's the number of teenagers, drivers that die on the roadway. 6,000 per year. Absolutely needless, absolutely tragic lives wasted out on the roadway that doesn't have to happen. And that's a number I think that should stick with you and really shouldn't surprise us with as many distractions that are out there. Okay, now that we've been all serious, we got to have some fun. I always love to ask Kasey about the 3 soccer moms that chase you around in the AllState commercials.
Yeah, the AllState commercials have been fun. We've done 6 over the last 3 years, and it's always the same 3 girls, myself, and AllState comes up with the spots, what we do in them, how they end up, and they've been pretty exciting. They've been pretty fun to do. The last one was probably the one that if I was to say I like 5 out of 6, the last one would probably be the one I don't like. I had to dance in it, and I'm not a dancer, so that was difficult. That was difficult, but I still enjoyed it. I had fun making them, and you know, we always have a good time with AllState, and they definitely think about safe driving and what you need to do out there.
And Ray, what does the partnership with AllState mean to you and your race team? Not only you guys got a lot of other professional sports figures in the world. They go to the ball game, they play their game, and then they go home. In NASCAR, you have a duty and a responsibility to your sponsor, but also the NASCAR family at large goes out and does things like this to where they can promote something like teen safe driving and also maybe save a life along the way.
Well, you know, first, to be associated with a blue chip company like AllState that's been around, it's got a great name, it certainly added credibility to a new business with our race team. So we thank them for that, to have enough faith in us to come on and partner. And they do a tremendous job promoting our race team and promoting Kasey and the sport, which is again good for everybody. But more so, they do an awful lot of things for the community. You know, they support a lot of other sports events. And as part of those things, like New Orleans, they support a lot of things that happen in the community with the hurricane and whatnot, the things they had down there. So it's a win-win situation. You have a great sponsor that has credibility in your company. You have somebody that advertises and promotes your team and your driver, and then somebody that gives back to the community too. So it's they're one of our favorite partners. We don't like to call them just sponsors. Everybody that's part of our program we like to call partners. And again, we have a lot of fun with it. AllState people know how to have fun.
Yeah, they certainly do. Kasey can vouch for that. Hey, if we can bring up the lights, we want to let you guys ask a couple of questions. If you have questions for Ray or Kasey, we'll take a couple. Anybody not shy? I can have somebody raise your hand asking a question. Don't be shy. There you go. Anybody got a question? You can't tell me you guys don't have questions for these guys. How often is it that you get to talk directly to one of the top drivers in NASCAR? There's a question. I'm not sure. Is there an 88?
Dale Jarrett. Dale Jarrett, yeah, he's driven it for years.
Hey, nobody around here pulls for Dale Earnhardt Jr., do they? Nah, I don't think so.
Oh, that's the quietest Dale Jr. crowd I've heard in a long time.
Yeah.
Usually they're very loud.
Okay, there's a question right there, man. That's it. I don't know. We'll work that out a little bit later. Okay. Anybody got a question about racing? Anybody for Ray or Kasey? There's one right there, okay? Okay, go ahead, man. Wait, right there?
Really, why, what do you think I am? I don't... 28, I just turned 28. Turned 28 last week or the week before. What? 10. April 10th, 28.
Yes, ma'am?
You know, I definitely do when I do something that I'm not real familiar with. When I qualify each race, it's, you know, in qualifying you put the cars, you go as fast as you can, you put the car on, you know, as much out of control as you can be and still make the lap. So before qualifying, my nerves probably go a little bit more than before the race. We do it so often anymore, and I'm in a sprint cup car so often that, you know, it's, you get used to it. Just like anything that anybody does a lot, you get used to it. So not as often, but you know, definitely still get nerves, and I think that's why I do it. I enjoy it. I enjoy it when things are, you know, kind of an unknown and you have to figure it out as it goes.
Okay, yes ma'am?
I know along with Budweiser comes a lot of like financial stability, but how difficult of a decision was it for you, this sweet, cute little Kasey, to go and be Budweiser?
It's pretty easy for me, really. Budweiser to me, I just, it's always, you know, when I've looked at sports or looked at racing or looked at, there's so many things that they're involved in, and it's, it was just a great opportunity, I think, for myself. So when Dale Jr. said he didn't want it anymore, he wanted to do other things, we were the team that they came and talked to Gillette Evernham Motorsports and the 9 car, and I was fortunate enough to get it. So I'm excited about it. I think it's you know, really cool, and I look forward to being Bud for a while.
The uniform looks good too. Sir?
With last year switching back and forth between cars, this year being 11 points and trying to maintain that position as a chase, how difficult has it been for you to adjust to the COT and to maintain position because we, you know, already winning the race last year and being in that position at this time and everything, you know, it's a big transition for you guys. So if you can just kind of explain that.
It's you know, we've came a long ways since the middle of last year. Our company, Gillette Evernham, has came a long ways. They've been building better cars. We're getting more used to the COT. I'm definitely getting more used to it as a driver, and the cars are showing up to the racetrack quicker and faster. And we're a lot closer. We're 11th in points, and we've had 2 races. The last 2 have been, you know, kind of bad breaks. Things have happened that you know, when we were running in the top 10 both races. So I think, you know, we could be better than where we're at, but we still have work to do, and, you know, to win races. But we're right there from, you know, 5th to 15th right now, and hopefully as the season goes on, we'll keep improving and be, you know, ready to win by the time the chase rolls around, and hopefully have enough points at that time to be in the chase.
Okay, who else has a question? You? Okay.
I started when I was 14. I started racing mini sprints, just little cars on dirt. I had 4-wheelers and go-karts and things like that before that, but I played baseball and basketball and did all that until I was about, I don't know, middle of high school. I just kind of started focusing just on racing, but when I was 14 I started driving.
All right, so now to answer a question that we had earlier, we're going to end the Q&A right now. What we want you guys to do, if you guys will line up inside of this door, and don't make a mad rush or hurt anybody or anything, if you line up on the inside of the